Hi, welcome everyone. I'm going to do a really quick pick a card today of blessings that are coming into your life. I just felt called to do that. It's just going to be a simple card pull with 3 choices, and it might speak to something you're going through or have gone through, or you're just, the emotions or energy are passing or rising, and just some messages that may or may not help at this time and support you or give you some guidance. Okay, so what we have, so I've just pulled a couple of oracle cards and some tarot. For pile 1, I've put some letters on. So we have N. We have P. And we have S. They may or may not mean something to you. They were just randomly picked and added to the top of each pile. I'm just going to float this pendulum over each pile for a second in case you feel any energy as that's done. Oops. That was interesting. So that's pile 1 or pile N. This is pile 2 or pile P. Interesting how the pendulum swings differently. And this is pile 3 or pile S. Okay, so just select which one you're drawn to, or watch all of them if you feel like it. So I'm just going to start. Okay, let's start with pile 1, which is N. Okay, so for the house cards, we have the 10th house. How will I do this? Let's see. Oops. Okay. And we also have the archetype cards here. So I'm just going to see what kind of messages come here. So the 10th house. The 10th house, well, specifically on this particular card, it says your achievements and status in the outside world. It's the house associated with your career, your standing, outside of your personal life, although it will incorporate, maybe your personal ambitions and whatnot, reputation, job, but also career more than job, roles and responsibilities, things like that. So that is what this message is going to pertain to, something in your 10th house. Its natural ruler is Capricorn. That doesn't mean that that's what planets are placed in your 10th house, but its natural ruler is that. Contribution to society, our sense of identity within that outside world as well. Okay, so in terms of the tarot, I'm going to read these together. There might have been, in terms of, in that broader sense, and being drawn mostly, although the 10th house can represent a lot of things to the career element of it. Perhaps you are, or if you need, there could be a time which has been mentally taxing for you when it comes to those issues of career and your status in the outside world, your responsibility, your sense of identity. And you might have felt a little like you're navigating a bit of a conflict or some challenging situations. It could be finding a sense of what your purpose is. It could be your coworkers. It could be classmates, something like this. But I already see the energy of it moving on. The cards are showing the energy of moving past that it was difficult, and you've been working on it, and you've been moving past it, and you've kind of gotten over that biggest hump, and now you're heading in a direction towards harmony and alignment on those issues. It doesn't mean that they're gone, but but that's the way it's going. I think ultimately, because we see the King of Pentacles below, is that this time and the decisions you've made are going to lead to stability, abundance. It's interesting, the King of Pentacles with the 10th house, sometimes associated with, a strong sense of career, profession, the ability to provide, reliable, Taurus energy, as well as Aries, but I associate it more with Taurus energy. So, and we're kind of upon that season, and Taurus is very a good energy to be associated with things in career and achievements and hard work. So this has been a time that has potentially required a lot, demanded a lot of you, intellectually, effort-wise. It's pulled at your energy. But the cards here are saying that you're going in the right direction. In terms of the light attribute of the from an archetype deck, the message here is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. So I think this kind of confirms and speaks to this taxing or challenging issue that you faced with others, trying to reconcile your thoughts regarding others, or your thoughts about how you want to keep going through this maze, and that you've been able to free yourself. You've been able to move past this negative place that either you found you were becoming susceptible to, or the energy around you that you felt was unhealthy for you. So you've been able to free yourself of these kinds of impulses. You're steady, you're getting into King of Pentacles energy, or that's where you're headed. So this is a message for the first pile with the 10th house. So hopefully there's something in there, a spark of something in there that helps you in your journey at this point. Okay. So we'll move on to the second pile. So the second pile is the P. Let's see. So what? Oh, the 5th house. Okay. Just kind of tuning into these cards, the energy or the messages, as we see what we have. Okay, interesting. Okay, so the 5th house, I've always found this to be kind of an interesting house. It's connected to creativity, self-expression, the things that bring you pleasure. So potentially romance. Fun romance is separate from relationships, though, because the romance in the sense of things that are exciting and pleasurable, versus long-term partnerships or union. But that's another issue. Things that are fun. Its natural ruler is Leo, the natural ruler. You might have other planets in your 5th house. Pastimes, hobbies, fun, entertainment, these types of things. So this message here is going to pertain to something. It's quite broad, actually, I think, because what brings people pleasure and self-expression can vary a lot from person to person. So there's a lot that can fall into the 5th house. In terms of a message, it's interesting. We have the Hierophant here as a major arcana, as well as the Magician. So Taurus in moon energy, Magician Mercury energy. I'm seeing this as something more related to self-expression, creativity, in terms of through discipline, through what you've learned, as well as your passion. This is a message indicating that combining what you feel passionate about, what makes you want to wake up in the morning and go, that lights your fire, combined with some hard work and effort to learn things, learn the details, understand the particulars, that actually this is combining either in a way that you expected or not expected to bring you some satisfaction in this area of your fifth house, in terms of your self-expression, your creativity, in terms of something you're enjoying. And you're in that manifestor energy. You've done this. You're going to feel like it's synergizing, or you're already there. And if you're kind of in that spot where you haven't, they're all separate silos. It's headed towards all kind of coming together in a way that it all makes sense, that the parts start to balance each other. In terms of the archetype, the light attribute is great powers of observations and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. So I see an interesting mix between something that might have been a hobby, or something that was done for your own self-expression, for your own feelings of enjoyment. You've paid attention to the details, you've observed, you've listened to yourself, because you were trying to find out more about yourself, as well as where you can contribute, and ways to kind of intertwine things that you enjoy with things that can be of benefit to society, or to yourself, or to your own self-care. There's kind of an interesting connection in the energies I'm reading here, between the 5th and 10th house, and between the first pile. But here this is this message of you can find your enjoyment, you can find your happiness, you can have fun by combining that which you're passionate about, that which lights a fire under you, with the details, with the hard work, with the effort. And once they really start to commingle, you're going to be in an unstoppable energy where, all the traits of all the suits, that fire, water, earth, energy is going to come together. Air as well. I feel an active card here, so, or active energy here. So anyway, that's a message for the second pile. If it is, I don't feel like it's romance here as much, but if it is, something has ignited your passion as well, and you're going after it, and you're paying attention. Sorry, I'm just getting this at the very end. It could be that someone has also sparked your sense of, or renewed your sense of romance as well. And it could be the romance of things that bring joy to you. That's what I think it is, that bring joy to you. So it could be a person, a thing. These are more general sparks of a message for positive kind of blessings that are coming. Okay, so the third pile, which is the S. Can't really see that. Whoops. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the first house. Okay. Probably the one that most people are familiar with. Okay. Interesting. Let's go from the top. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so I've been picking 3 cards, but 4 came out here, so... Okay, let me still set it up the same way. Okay, so the first house is... its natural ruler is Aries. We're kind of in Aries season. That's natural ruler. Again, you might have other things there. It's really all about the self. Some people say, things like aesthetics, appearance, how you look, your first impressions. But it can also be, in a deeper sense, your identity. Depends. I find personally that people relate to their first house in different ways depending on what's in their chart. But in terms of this message, which is not directly related to your astrological placements. It's just about a message and for that. So what we have here is what people see and the impression you give. So I think this pile is a message, especially for people who might be doing some self-reflective type work, or going through something that has made them think about, themselves and maybe, what they're bringing to others, who they want to be, what they see when they look in the mirror, literally, which is what this card is doing. Kind of a reevaluation of sorts, especially with the cards here. An outlook on what's coming in life. In terms of the tarot that's pulled with this, though, I think for people who pick this pile or resonate with this, I think you're all taking a moment regarding your sense of self, trying to understand your identity, how you project yourselves to how you feel like when you look in the mirror. You're kind of reevaluating that. You're trying to get a new perspective on yourself, which way you want to go as the future unfolds, as the path unfolds. You want a moment to yourself. You want to be able to do this in a certain amount of solitude, because we have Hanged Man energy here as a major archetype too, which is Neptune energy. You want to be able to dream boundlessly about those thoughts that you're having, but at the same time, you want your boundaries. You want to do this yourself. You want to figure what you're trying to explore about yourself and your sense of self, your identity, what you want to, put out to the world. You want to do that. You want to be the driver in that discussion with yourself. You don't want to let others interfere with this exploration you're doing. And just because you're examining yourself, or you're taking some time to self-reflect and think about yourself, taking stock, doesn't mean you're not confident. You are confident. You know exactly, you have a sense of self. You have a sense of self. Reevaluation is a sign of strength. And it's a sign of mental strength. You're open to hear what others have to say, but you have your boundaries that you're setting forth in which you're going to make this exploration. And maybe you're already doing this, maybe this is upcoming, but you're taking this seriously. And you're looking for some kind of productive outcome. In that sense, I see that energy still continuing. I see that there's still going to be some ongoing energies around in this state of settling down on some issues, or some figuring out some stuff regarding your general outlook on life. It could, because it's your first house, it's about you, but you in any quadrant. So your outlook on that element of your life as it pertains to you. We have the Chariot and the Four of Cups, which are both Cancerian energy, actually. I think, the Four of Cups. So you're still taking some time. You're trying to look at this issue. You're really trying to go through this time of self-evaluation. And it's not like you're doing it as a specific thing, but you're looking at it from all angles, not just with your head, but your heart, your thoughts. And it's in little bits. It's not like you're setting some time aside, going on a retreat, although maybe you have, taking some time for yourself, but it's also like a daily exercise. And you're slowly finding your way into your seat of power. You might be feeling a little out of place at times, but you're moving into where you want to be, so you can lead that chariot as it moves forward, and that you can master the duality of things that maybe you might be someone who feels like there's a few different parts to yourself, to your sense of identity, and you're finding ways to manage those and have them complement each other. In terms of the archetype, the light attribute reads as surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. So that's interesting. I see both your own active mind involved in this process, but this also means that there are times when you're hitting, especially with this hangman energy, you're hitting those roadblocks, and you are, or your spirit is guiding you to surrender to the divine, surrender to the spirit, to the universe, and that you probably have a little flicker of trust, and to let that grow. And that's what we see here ultimately with you kind of taking control and taking the reins of the direction you're going with your sense of self, with your sense of identity. Yeah, I think that's actually quite pretty. Surrendering your power, the sentence, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. I think that's also guidance here. And if there are any obstacles you're feeling for any of the piles or in general, I think this message is also about surrendering to higher powers, knowing that there's everything is for its highest good, for your highest good, for all of our highest good, and not to become overwhelmed by what is or what isn't, what has been or hasn't been, choices, things like that. What is meant for you is not going to pass you by. But that doesn't mean that this self-work, this looking at yourself, considering yourself, or maybe it's not even that you're re-examining yourself because you're feeling deficient. It could be a re-examination of yourself just to perfect yourself even higher. You're on the right path and you're just trying to tweak those things with minor adjustments. A little bit here, a little bit there, just to really get into your niche. But there is an energy of maybe, a little bit of back and forth, waiting, a little bit of trying to get that certainty, trying not to sway in the wind. But it's coming. You're moving towards that, or you already have. Anyway, so that's an extra card. So those are some quick messages, kind of blessings, good things coming. I felt like sharing. I hope it helped someone. Even if it helped one person, that's what it was meant to do. So thank you for checking the video out, and make sure to like and subscribe, and join us during one of our live streams when I try to take questions from all of you and see what guidance Spirit has for you. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Good night. Bye.